Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are doing very well today. So today's video I'm really excited to do. I've done one of these videos in the past, but it's definitely long overdue. So I thought it would be a really good idea just to kind of have this posted again on my channel just for reference. And it's a drugstore starter kit. I love this video idea because it's definitely going to give you a way to figure out what drugstore products you should get, especially if you're maybe new to makeup. Maybe you are a preteen or a teenager getting into makeup and you're trying to get the best on the market, but you're wanting drugstore prices because obviously you don't want to spend a lot of money. Drugstore makeup is obviously a lot more expensive nowadays, so keep that in mind. I didn't necessarily keep that in mind when planning this video, but I would like to think that all of these are kind of reasonably priced, considering the price of like high-end makeup and all of that. But before we get into the actual video, I'm really excited because today's video is actually a collaboration with a fellow YouTuber here, and that is Makeup by Monica. And Makeup by Monica, she's actually one of my subscribers. That is how I have discovered her, and I didn't realize that she had a YouTube channel, and I started watching her content, and she is so sweet, and I've thoroughly enjoyed all of her Get Ready With Me's. I find them really relaxing and peaceful to watch. Something about Get Ready With Me's, they just tend to be my favorite videos, and so I love that that's a lot of what she posts. So if you love Get Ready With Me's, definitely check her out. I will have her channel links down below. She's also going to be doing a drugstore starter kit video on her channel, and so check her out, give her some love, subscribe, like her videos, put on notifications so that you're aware of all of her uploads. She's a super sweet person, and I'm so glad that she decided to comment on my videos so that I got to know her, and then also so that I could discover her channel. So give her some love. Her channel will be linked down below, and thank you, Monica, so much for collabing with me on today's video. So let's go ahead and get started. I have a lot of products here, so let's try to just get on into it. So for primer, I kind of struggled with this because I noticed that a lot of my favorite primers are actually from high-end brands, but I have been enjoying this one from e.l.f. And normally I'm not a huge fan of gripping primers. However, I do really enjoy the e.l.f. Jelly Pop primer, but that one is no longer available. It's been discontinued, but they have their Power Grip primer, and this is the one with niacinamide, and I actually like this one. I do feel like it's pretty tacky on the skin, but it does give a nice grip to the skin so that it's going to adhere to your foundation. I feel like even though it's tacky, it still spreads pretty evenly on the skin. I don't feel like I'm completely dragging this product all over my face because that's obviously not good to do that. So I do like this one. I like this as a way to prolong my makeup, especially if I'm needing to wear it for 14 hours or so. This will definitely do the trick, and I do feel like it's pretty hydrating as well. So I feel like multiple skin types can probably enjoy this product, and so I wanted to include this one in today's video as a primer. Another primer, but it's more of a spray. This is the NYX Bear With Me Primer Set and Refresh Spray. So this is a multitasking spray. I thoroughly enjoy this product, as I'm sure you can tell from the close-up. I have used so much of this primer spray. That is exactly how I use it. I use it as a primer spray. I go in with primer, and then I go in with this, and I spray it all over my face, and it's just a really nice, refreshing, and hydrating pick-me-up for my skin. I absolutely love the way that it feels on my skin before going in with foundation. I feel like it's just a really nice just prep step, and you get a lot of product in here. You get 4.39 fluid ounces. So this is I think a $10 spray, which can be a little bit pricey, especially for the drugstore, but you do get a lot of product in here, and I've had it for a while and I use it almost every day. So if that says anything on how long that product has lasted, there you go. For foundation, again, I kind of struggled because it's not that I don't have a lot of favorites from the drugstore. I actually really do. It's just, it's hard to find something that's going to work for everyone, until I was looking in my collection and I was like, oh yeah, I love these foundations. These are amazing drugstore foundations, and they are the Wet n Wild foundations. I have both the matte version as well as the dewy version, and These are amazing. They are very, very high performing, especially considering how inexpensive they are. So I have the matte one. The packaging looks literally the same. You have to kind of make sure that you're choosing the matte one or the dewy one because they are pretty much packaged the same. I prefer the dewy one, but the matte one is really nice, especially if you're wanting something a little bit more fuller coverage. If you're wanting something that's maybe going to wear a little bit longer. I do notice that the matte one does wear a little bit better. However, the dewy one just looks so beautiful and so nice and fresh on the skin. I am so impressed with these foundations. I'm so impressed with these. I have Emily Noel to thank for these because I had tried these, of course, in the past, and I didn't think that they were anything special in my collection, and so I obviously decluttered them. But then she had been raving about them so much last year that I was like, you know what, I want to try out those foundations again. And I'm so glad that I did because they are so high performing, and the fact that I like both formulations definitely says something. So that is hopefully something that can work for a majority of skin types, given that there's a matte version as well as a dewy version, but neither of them look drying or cakey or heavy on the skin. For a concealer, I had a hard time with this because I love the Morphe Filter Effect concealer, but I love this Makeup Revolution one. This is the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Full Coverage Concealer. I do wear the shade C4, and this one, it's just a favorite. I have used so many of these in the past, and I've repurchased it, and I just keep falling in love with it every single time I bring it back into my collection. I just thoroughly enjoy it. It's a really nice, just kind of creamy and lightweight formula. I feel like it gives decent coverage. It's not full coverage, but it definitely can get you to that medium coverage. So I think it's great for every day. I also think it's good for special occasions as well. And because it is so creamy and lightweight, I do believe that you can probably just dab a little bit on and then blend it out. And you can maybe even get something that's a little bit more natural underneath the eyes as well. So I really enjoy this one. Again, I have used so many of these that I do think that it's just a true testament of how much I enjoy that product. All right, then I want to get into powders. And powder, I have two that I wanted to recommend, and the one that I really stand by, but I needed to provide another one because this could be hard to find, is the L'Oreal Hydra Perfect Loose Setting Powder. This is such a beautiful setting powder. I highly recommend this one. I picked mine up at Walmart. I have the shade Translucent. This is just so beautiful. It's so nice and perfecting on the skin. It's so nice and blurring on the skin. It really does set the skin without feeling drying or cakey or anything like that. It is just almost like it's an airbrushed effect to the skin. It is just so wonderful. However, if you cannot find this, again, check out Walmart. That's where I've been able to find it. But if you can't get a hold of that, I recommend the Maybelline Fit Me. The Maybelline Fit Me is a very just safety net of a powder. It's going to set your face. It's going to perfect the face, not as much as a filter effect, if you will, with the L'Oreal powder. However, this will do the job for sure. There's also a ton of shades that you can choose from, which I really enjoy, especially for it being that it's at the drugstore. I was going to recommend the Wet n Wild Loose Setting Powder, but because that packaging is so big and bulky, I can't store it with all of my other powders, and so I don't want to recommend it for that reason. This is just nice. It's square. It's kind of ish compact that I do think it can fit in most makeup bags and most drawers. So I do like this one just as much as I probably like the Wet n Wild one, but I love that L'Oreal one. That is the first one that I'd recommend. For powder foundation, the first one I'd recommend, again, if you can get your hands on it, because unfortunately I think it's getting discontinued, which I am so mad about, and it's the Makeup Revolution Powder Foundation. I have spoken about this product so many times on my channel. I literally have pan on this product because I love it that much. This is just a saving grace product for me. This is a product that I use whenever my foundation looks awful and maybe it doesn't have enough coverage, maybe a lot of my texture is showing, maybe my foundation is looking patchy, anything that could possibly go wrong with your foundation, this will save the day, and it has saved the day for me every single time. This product is so beautiful on the skin. Even though it's a powder foundation, it doesn't look cakey. I truly feel that it's just just the most beautiful formula. I didn't even show you it up close. I have the shade P4 and I have not been able to find it on Ulta, and it's not even on the Makeup Revolution site. So I truly feel like this is getting discontinued. I haven't checked Amazon actually, so maybe I'll do that, but this is just such a good powder foundation. However, if you can't find it, one that I have come to love just as kind of as much is the J-Cat Beauty Aquassurance Compact Foundation. I have the shade Ivory. This is really nice as well. You can pick this up online at Ulta. It's not in store at Ulta, so that's the only unfortunate thing. But this is a good powder foundation. It really is. It definitely has some decent coverage to it, probably even more than the what's it called, than the Makeup Revolution one. But because of that, this can look a little bit cakey if you're not careful. So just a heads up, but I really enjoy powder foundations. I do think that they serve an entirely different purpose for me, and so I can definitely justify having those in my collection. Then I wanted to get into bronzer. You know me, I like to give you a lot of options. So I have a liquid bronzer option, I have a cream bronzer option, and then of course just your standard powder. So for cream, I had to recommend my Makeup Revolution cream bronzer. This cream bronzer has knocked out of the park so many of my what I thought holy grail cream bronzers. This one is just so amazing. I will use one cream bronzer, like it, and then I will bring this one back in and use it, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Why have I stopped using this? This is specifically called the Makeup Revolution Ultra Cream Bronzer. I do have the shade Light. Mine is already icky looking because I have used it so much. You can find this at a lot of places right now. You can find this at Ulta, you can find this at Target, you can find this probably in your local grocery store if they sell Makeup Revolution. This is such a beautiful formula. I can't believe that this cream bronzer is only $8. Highly recommend. For liquid bronzer, I wanted to shout out the Milani Conceal and Perfect Liquid Contour. So this is a contour, however, it does pull more of a bronzer for me because of the shade. I have the shade Honey. This was probably supposed to be duping the Charlotte Tilbury contour ones, but this is definitely a lot better. The formula is more forgiving in my opinion. The shade is a lot better for me. I feel like the shades that Milani has, I can't speak for deeper complexions. However, I do feel like the shades Milani has, they're a little bit more options for when it comes to lighter skin tones, because I feel like the Charlotte Tilbury wand, if you have fair or light skin, I feel like that can look a little heavy, at least in my opinion. So I do feel that this is a better shade for me. I feel a lot more comfortable using this formula because it's a lot more easy to blend out. So love this so much. I highly recommend. And then for powder, I wanted to mention my L'Oreal Infallible bronzer. So this has a soft matte finish and it's supposedly waterproof. I have no idea. I picked up the shade Light 250. This is a beautiful bronzer. It's a beautiful matte bronzer. It has such a nice blendable formula. It's so easy to blend out. It doesn't get patchy. It doesn't look super muddy on the skin. I hate when bronzers do that. I think this is amazing. I was so happy when they came out with these, and the moment I got my hands on them, I totally wanted to pick them up. And yes, so pleased with these. Highly recommend. They also have a ton of shades available. For blush, I only have a cream option and a powder option. For cream, just the best cream blushes at the drugstore in my opinion, and by drugstore I mean Ulta in this case. The Undone Beauty, these are the lip to cheek palettes. These are amazing. The Milani cream blushes are really nice. The Moira cream blushes are really nice, but I love these ones from Undone Beauty. This one is in the shade Rosewood. You can find these at Ulta. There are a ton of other shades available. So if you want to check out one of their pink shades or maybe more of like a berry shade, they have those. This is just such an amazing formula. They're so easy to work with. They're easy to blend out. They're super long wearing. That's probably what I love so much about these cream blushes, is that they are so long wearing. Something about cream products is they can kind of fade a little bit easier because they're obviously creams, but this one, it lasts a very long time on the skin. For powder blushes, you already know the Revlon powder blushes. These are a must. These are definitely the best blushes at the drugstore when it comes to powder blushes. I just feel like these are super underrated. I feel like they probably reformulated these and no one really knew about it. So now no one's talking about them, which is so unfortunate because these are beautiful. They remind me of high-end blushes. They are so nice and just smooth and creamy and blendable on the skin. They have this beautiful soft texture to them. Like, it's out of this world how creamy these cream blushes or these powder blushes are, and just how smooth they are. Like, they go on the skin so nice and smooth, which is just absolutely amazing. I have two shades. This one is in the shade Apricot, and then this one is in the shade Oh Baby Pink. It's a beautiful, just stunning shade. So really love these blushes from Revlon, and that would be my powder pick for sure. For highlighter, I wanted to recommend two, of course. First off, the Milani Baked Highlighter. This one is in the shade Dolce Perla. I wanted to mention one other highlighter only because I don't think there's a ton of shades in this highlighter formula from Milani. However, if one of the shades work for you, I highly recommend this formula. It is so nice and smooth on the skin. It doesn't emphasize any texture or pores or acne or anything like that. It's just so nice and just smooth on the skin. The shade Dolce Perla is absolutely stunning. However, if there's not a shade that works for you from that line, I did want to recommend the highlighters from Wet n Wild. These are the Mega Glow highlighting powders, and this is in the shade Precious Petals, which is a beautiful, just kind of peachy champagne color. This is a beautiful, beautiful formula. About a week ago, I was at Target and I saw this mother, and it was a mom and her daughter, I guess, at Target, and they went to the Target employee, and she works in the beauty section, and I overheard them, and they were asking her, what's a really good, highlighter? And so she took them to Pixie, and after, they walked away from the display, I pulled them aside and was like, hey, like, I overheard you, I hope you don't mind, but I thought I'd recommend the Wet n Wild ones. They're super affordable and they are beautiful on the skin. And she was a young girl, like she was probably maybe 13 or something like that. And so I didn't want her to pay the Pixie price for something that Wet n Wild I knew could do really well. Definitely don't want to discredit the Target employee by any means. It's just these from Wet n Wild are so good and they're so affordable, and the shades that they have are beautiful. They have like pinky ones. This one is a little bit more peachy. They have a more champagne goldy looking one. So definitely don't sleep on those. They're an amazing formula. Okay, so now we're gonna get into eyeshadow primer, and I definitely didn't want to neglect eyeshadow primer because it is such an important step. And I feel like if I don't advise you to get an eyeshadow primer, I will just feel awful. And so I just recommend the Milani eyeshadow primer. It's not my favorite personally, but I do think it's a solid one that you can get at the drugstore. This is a good one. It's gonna do the job and it's very affordable, and a lot of people do recommend this one. So that's for eyeshadow primer. Then for brows, I have 3 products to recommend. I have 2 brow pencils that I wanna talk about. The first one is my ultimate favorite. This is my favorite drugstore brow pencil, but I have another one to mention just in case this type of brow pencil is not your preferred way to do your brows. But this is the Wet n Wild retractable brow pencil, and I have the shade medium brown. This is the brow pencil. I've spoken about this pencil a lot, so I'm sorry if I'm being redundant, but it does have that triangular tip to it. It's definitely like the ABH brow definer. I love this brow pencil because it is going to fill in your brows so fast, so quickly, so fast. It's not going to waste any time, and I just really love the quality and formula of this brow pencil as well. It's not too waxy. It's definitely going to build up color really nicely. It has a spoolie on the other side so that if you need to brush out any of the product, you're able to do that. So I recommend this. I really, really do. I think it's a great formula, super affordable as well. However, if you don't like the triangular tip brow pencil, I understand most people don't. The e.l.f. Instant Lift brow pencil is another really great option. And this brow pencil, it's not, oh, I'm almost done with this. It's not a micro fine brow pencil like a lot of the other ones, like an ultra fine one. This one is definitely more of a thicker tip. So again, it's still going to make it really fast and easy for you to fill in your brows, but it's not going to be a fine tip. So you have to be okay with that. But I love this one because it's more affordable than a lot of those ultra fine brow pencils, but it's not going to take forever to fill in your brows like it would if you were using one of those pencils. I also really enjoy the spoolie on this one because it's nice and thick, and I don't know, I just like the spoolie on this brow pencil specifically. So I recommend this one. I wear the shade Neutral Brown. Then for brow gel, I had to talk about brow gel and the e.l.f. Wow Brow. That's what I would recommend. This is a beautiful brow gel. It's going to fill in your brows, but also provide a little bit of hold. And the shade that I have is brunette. It works really well for me. I think this is a great product, especially for like preteens or someone just getting into makeup, because it's going to fluff up your brows, give them a little bit of definition, a little bit of volume, but it's also going to fill them in because this is a tinted brow gel. It's very affordable, and I do think that this is a little bit easier to use than maybe like the NYX Thick It Stick It brow gel. I was going to recommend that one, but because I was thinking of beginners as well, I recommend the e.l.f. Wow Brow over that one. Then I wanted to get into eyeshadow. And so I have two to recommend. Firstly, of course, the Wet n Wild Color Icon eyeshadow palette. This is the Tin Pan palette in the shade Nude Awakening. I definitely recommend this color story. It's a beautiful, everyday neutral palette. I have spoken about this palette so many times on my channel, so I don't want to further bore you, but great formula, great quality, great price, and the color story is just beautiful. However, these are new to me, and they're actually new to the market in general. The new CoverGirl quads. I like these. I really like these. I feel like they're not getting a ton of love here on YouTube, but I really like them. I do have the shade Dreamy Pink, which is probably my favorite. I just really love the shimmer shades. I feel like they're so nice and just beautiful and bright on the lids. I feel like they really wake up my eyes because it's such a smooth eyeshadow formula. So I really enjoy the shade called Dreamy Pink. And then the other one that I have is Shimmering Beige. Really enjoy this one as well. So I like these. I would highly recommend picking these up. I think that they're really nice and beginner friendly. They are more expensive than the Wet n Wild palette, which is crazy because this is a quad and that one is a tin pan. But I do think this formula is really nice. It's definitely comparable to the Wet n Wild. But I like these, and I think that they're nice and cute to have in your makeup collection. The packaging is, you know, a step up from the Wet n Wild packaging. But yeah, wanted to mention these. For mascara, we're almost finished. For mascara, the Milani Anti-Gravity. This is amazing. This is specifically called the Highly Rated Anti-Gravity. A lot of people are liking this one, and for great reason. The brush is a really nice rubber bristled brush, and it has that nice shape to it where I really feel like it can hug the lashes really well, and it provides both volume and length. I feel bad speaking about mascara because I really do have naturally pretty nice lashes. Not trying to brag, it's just that it is what it is. But I enjoy this mascara, and I know a lot of other YouTubers have as well, so I don't feel too bad because I guess it's not just me, which is good. And then I have lip products. And so lip products, firstly for lip oil, because you have to have a lip oil, and honestly this might be all you need when it comes to lip products, especially if you're, you know, a lot younger. The Milani Fruit Fetish lip oils are beautiful. I do have the shade Raspberry Peach. This will give you hydration on the lips, a glossy finish, but also a little bit of a tint, which is so cute and flirty and youthful looking on the lips, and they're gonna hydrate your lips as well. What I love about lip oils is that they're kind of like a gloss, but they're a lot more hydrating. They're not as thick, they're not as goopy. They're a little bit of a thinner formula, which I can always get on board with. So these from Milani are the way to go. For like just regular traditional lipsticks, right? I want to recommend Revlon for like just regular bullet lipsticks. I really enjoy the Revlon Super Lustrous lipsticks. They have beautiful nude shades. This one specifically is in the shade Bare Affair. It's a beautiful kind of more like warm toned nude, absolutely stunning. And this is one of their cream formulas. And then also they have matte ones as well. And a lot of people don't talk about the matte formula, but this is in the shade Pick Me Up, and it's a beautiful, just kind of like mauve-y color. And it's just stunning. It's a beautiful, beautiful formula. So Revlon has a really nice lipstick formula that you need to check out, and they're very affordable. However, these lipsticks are all the rage right now. So many people are talking about these, and for great reason, and they are the Milani color fetish lipsticks. I have two. The shades that I have are Tease, which is a beautiful, beautiful nude color. Highly recommend. Perfect for every day. Really nice with like a little bit of like a deeper brownie kind of lip liner. And then I also have the shade Peony. This is a really nice, just kind of everyday pinky color. Super beautiful. So these are going to be very opaque. So they're very pigmented, and they're going to be matte. So I would recommend prepping your lips beforehand, going in maybe with like a lip oil beforehand, or maybe like just a little bit of lip balm, and then apply these, especially if your lips tend to be a little bit more dry. But other than that, they're a beautiful opaque matte lipstick formula. For lip gloss though, I had to include lip gloss. You already know the Maybelline Lifter Glosses. They're the way to go. They have beautiful colors. The shades here that I have are Silk and Moon. Super, super beautiful colors. And the formula is so nice and comfortable and hydrating and luxurious feeling. These have often been compared to the Fenty Gloss Bombs, and I do think that they're pretty similar. But yes, the Maybelline Lifter Glosses are so beautiful, and I love the shades that they have as well, and the packaging is also super cute. Then for setting spray, that is the final product that I want to talk about in today's video. This video is forever long, so I do apologize. For setting spray, there's none other than my Makeup Revolution Fix and Glow setting spray. This setting spray, I just feel like it's changed my life. Like, it's so good. I know that that sounds dramatic, but honestly, ever since I've had this in my collection, I don't reach for hardly anything else. You can see, I mean, I just shook it up so you can see all the foam, but there is almost like I'm over halfway done with this bottle, and I haven't even had it a year yet. It smells so good, almost like candy or like limited 2 or something like that. So it definitely has more of like a throwback scent to it, which I really enjoy. This is definitely going to be more of a dewy setting spray, but I don't feel like it makes me look overly dewy, or it doesn't make me look greasy or oily or anything like that. I think it does a really great job at just really meshing all of your makeup products together, especially your powder products, but giving a little bit of a glow, but nothing that's overwhelming. I do feel like maybe if you have oily skin, it'll be too much for you. But even if you have oily skin, I would look into this just to try it out, just to see how it works for you. But I love this, and I can't recommend anything else. But that was my Drugstore Makeup Starter Kit. Whew, take a deep breath. I'm done. But I hope you enjoyed. I hope that if you are a preteen, or you're a teen, or maybe you're just an adult getting into makeup at a later time, that's fine too. Or if you just want to hear about great drugstore makeup, I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope that this was helpful for you. Thank you so much to Makeup by Monica for collabing with me on this video. Again, check her out, give her some love, like her videos, subscribe. We're both really small YouTube channels, so I appreciate any of the love and support that you can give either of us. And so just thank you for collabing with me on today's video. And if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. Also, I would love for you to subscribe and be a part of my YouTube channel family here. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will go ahead and see you in my next video. Bye.
Maybe one day